Hey everyone, this is Dreadnought and Archon.
Hey guys.
We're back from a 2-week vacation to Florida. We were visiting our sister, but we are back and we have some new content of Act 3 Inferno. We've switched up our gear and abilities a little bit. We're a little bit more damage intensive, and we'll talk a little bit about what we're doing differently later. And we also have an announcement of the winner of the gear giveaway from before we went on vacation. We have a little video that we'll throw in the end of this video to see the gear upgrade that our winner Proigi got. And we also have a winner from last week.
So last week we weren't here to announce the winner, but we'll throw it on the screen here. The winner of last week was this random series of numbers. I guess he doesn't have an actual name, but 054, you know the rest. You are the winner of last week, so we will be contacting you on YouTube in the next day or two to meet up with you and get you your upgrade. But starting this week, we're going to be doing the gear giveaway a little bit differently, so stick around till the end of the video and we'll tell you what you need to do to be eligible for next week's item.
And like I said, we have a little bit different rotation skill ability set than you are used to seeing us use. Because of the 1.0.3 patch, there's a lot more gear out on the auction house for cheaper prices comparatively. And so we have some upgrades that we're using, and it allows us to use a little bit more offensive build, and most of it is based off of Archon's new ability set.
Yeah, so if you guys remembered, before 1.0.3, actually way before, there was this exploit with critical mass, the passive that reduces your cooldowns, so that people were using Energy Twister, like you can see here, and getting their cooldowns way down. So Blizzard hot fixed it. But in 1.0.3, they brought it back. It's just not as overpowered as it once was. But it's now another viable build. And it's probably only one of two viable builds, because the other one is just the Blizzard Hydra one that I'm sure you guys have all seen. But the idea is just to get really high crit gear. So right now my crit chance is at 45%. You don't need quite that much. And then you have critical mass, so your crits reduce your cooldowns. And then you can use skills like Frost Nova and other high cooldown skills like Archon, and your cooldowns go way down, especially when you're using stuff like Energy Twister, which has a really high attack speed and lets you get a ton of crits. So
and if you're used to kiting as the wizard and you're thinking, well, what's so awesome about this? Well, it's especially useful in groups, because kiting is great when you're solo, but a slowed down enemy is still doing just as much damage to me as the Barbarian player. So this is especially useful when combined with the melee class, because now I don't even have to have some of my more defensive abilities. I don't even use my ground stomp with wrenching smash right now. Instead, I can use my battle cry, which increases my damage by 30%. I got rid of my shield, and now I'm dual wielding, and so I can do about twice as much damage now as I used to do because of all of the Frost Novas that are going down, and it's much more useful for me as a melee class than just slowing down enemies. I take a lot less damage because of it.
yeah, so if you've seen our previous Inferno videos, you've probably already noticed that we're getting through this much quicker than we used to. We can just dish out a lot more damage. We have to run away a lot less. You can see I actually spend most of my time in Archon when we're not fighting the elite packs, just because with the critical mass cooldown reduction, you can go into Archon pretty much any time you want to. And with Dreadnought up there taking most of the hits, I can just sit back and do a ton of damage. And with the extra crit gear, I've gone from about 24,000 DPS up to about 41,000 unbuffed, which is really nice.
Yeah, and with Archon also, it works really well with Warcry Impunity, because Archon can actually tank as a wizard because of the armor bonuses he gets while he's in Archon form, and combined with my Warcry, it makes him kind of a secondary range tank, so it's really nice for survivability.
Yeah, and you'll notice the main skills you're keeping up with this build are Diamond Skin and Frost Nova, which makes it so you're very rarely taking damage. And I'll actually be posting another video going over more detail about this build and showing the gear I'm using as well, and I'll put an annotation to that.
If you've been following us for a while and you are a Barbarian player, then you know that I've been advocating attack speed and life on hit for a long time, and then in the 1.0.3 patch there was a really big nerf to attack speed, and a lot of people are wondering, is attack speed and life on hit still worth it? And in my opinion, yes, it is still worth it per se, but it just makes it more viable now to use to stack vitality and then make sure that you're getting those revenge provocation hits, because like I said, I'm not getting as much life now just from my frenzy. Before I could get 3k life per second just by swinging really fast with the one-hander and shield. Now I can't swing nearly as fast because of the attack speed debuff, so now I rely a lot on high vitality and making sure that I have revenge provocation always in my sight when it procs, and hitting as many people as I can to get a lot of life back that way.
Yeah, as you can see, we're just blowing through these white guys. Here's another elite pack. I think we own these guys pretty hard too. But you shouldn't be misled. There are still elite packs that we have trouble with this build. Since we're both melee now, some of the things that really mess us up are Desecrate or the Poison Nova, as well as Fire Chains.
Molten. Yeah, almost anything on the ground is a little bit difficult for us.
Yeah, so we got lucky with these first two packs. You'll see us, the third pack we fight, they have Poison Nova, and you'll notice we have a bit more trouble with them. But for the most part, it's a pretty sick strat. I'm really liking it. You can tell even the elites are frozen almost half the time. We can both just stand in there and DPS non-stop, not nearly as much running around.
So if you're a wizard and you play in group games, then keep in mind that this strat is really useful for us melee class, because usually if I join a public game, I'll get the demon hunters and the wizards that like to use their normal kiting abilities like Blizzard, and that's really great for kiting. But as a melee class, slowing down enemies is useful, but not nearly as useful as stunning or freezing enemies.
Yeah, it's really the same thing. When they're frozen, they're just as good as stunned. And it's not as viable a build for all wizards because you need a lot of crit. You probably need at least 25-30% crit chance, and you still need a lot of survivability too. Even though you have Diamond Skin and Frost Nova off cooldown all the time, if you don't have enough resistances and armor, then that Diamond Skin is gonna get eaten through really quickly, and you're not gonna be able to take the hits to be able to stand there long enough.
Yeah, I know a lot of wizards and demon hunters like to use the glass cannon method of doing tons of damage and not taking a lot of hits. But I really advocate some of the survivability because the repair costs are so high, and even if you're doing half the DPS, you can still move through this just as quickly if you're not dying at all, compared to using some of those really fragile builds where you die often. Yeah,
I was just playing around with builds yesterday and dying a lot because I was having trouble coming up with good ones, and I went through about 500,000 gold just in repair and potion costs, and that's including all the stuff I was picking up too. So it can definitely get expensive if you start dying a lot.
You'll notice I'm dual wielding now instead of using a one-hander and a shield, and it's working out really well for me, but I don't recommend it for everyone. You need a certain amount of resist and vitality, attack speed, and life on hit before it really becomes a viable build. Just because shields they absorb so much damage with like a 3 to 4k damage reduction that has like a 20% or higher block chance. And you can get like 70 all resist on them pretty easily. It gives you a huge defense bonus and armor bonus, but I'm really liking the dual wield right now. But like I said, if you don't already have a strong defense, it might not work as well for you.
I just got vortex raped right there. You see, I'll show that again too. Happened pretty quickly. But we come back and we do a pretty good job with retaliation. Dreadnought ran away and waited for me a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes It's just really frustrating if both people die. Some of these elite groups heal so quickly, and so it's usually worth it. It doesn't take that long for the other person to get back, to just run away and stay safe for the other person to get back.
Yeah, so at this point, Dreadnought started having some frame rate issues, so it's going to cut off a little early. But I will play the rest of this fight on my channel at least.
And if you've watched the whole video right now, you can watch the Barbarian perspective on Dreadnought's channel, and you can watch the Wizard perspective on Archon's channel.
Yeah, we'll put annotations on each video so you can switch over if you'd like to see the other perspective as well. If you guys haven't already subscribed to either of our channels, please do that. We're trying to put out a video every day. We've been putting out one video a week, but we want to up that because a lot of people have been asking for more videos.
And we appreciate the support we get from our subscribers, so in return we are rewarding them with gear giveaways and a chance to play with us on occasions.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier we're going to be changing how we're doing the gear giveaways. The reason being that it's getting harder to find upgrades for some of you guys that have really good weapons. And so what we're doing instead is each Friday we'll show you guys an awesome piece of gear that we either found or just found a really good deal on the auction house. And if it's an upgrade for you, you can let us know in the comments. And you must be able to use the gear. It'll probably all be level 60 gear, so please only post if you're level 60 or very close to it. And we will randomly pick one of you guys, and we will give you the item probably the next day or the day after, so you don't get an upgrade before we give it to you. And so this week's item is this Dominion Remnant. They're rare shoulders for Barbarians. So they have 140 strength, 112 vitality, 69 all resistance. Great shoulders for any Barbarian. If these are an upgrade for you and you have a level 60 Barbarian, go ahead and post a comment in the description and we will contact you on YouTube. And also we'll go ahead and show you that gear that we got for Proigi so you can see what he got.
And thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit subscribe, and let us know if you want to be if you're on a US server, if you want to be eligible to play with us.
Yeah, we'll be playing with a subscriber this weekend, so look out for that video.